Okay, so one of the questions that's often asked about adaptive grazing and moving cattle every day is, how are you going to get them to water? Well, if you see the water trough down here, that was located in the previous day's paddock. So we're not worried at all about these cattle walking back across previously grazed areas when they're on a new, fresh paddock. And there's multiple reasons there. One is that you have a very high degree of trample in the area that was previously grazed, plus they've deposited a lot of manure and urine, so they've sort of soiled that grass there. And as long as they've got fresh bites of grass ahead of them, they're not interested at all in regrazing what they have soiled. They want the fresh stuff, sort of like we do. We don't want wilted lettuce, we want fresh lettuce. And the other thing that you'll notice is that these cattle are taking turns walking back and forth to water. They're not all as a single herd trying to move and drink. And that's precisely what you want your cattle to do. You want them to learn to take turns going back and forth to water. That means your flow rate efficiencies are much better and you never stress your cattle at all. So there's the way to develop that strategy, quite frankly, is through moving your cattle every day. And you'll notice that just through that daily movement, they start to train themselves to go to water in little small groups, and you'll see groups walking to water and groups returning from water, passing each other along the way every day as they do that. And as we move to yet another paddock, so we'll have yet another move today, these cattle will still return to that same water point. And again, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. There's no need to have to move your water to every single paddock every day or even multiple times a day. Typically, what we advise is that we like to work off of a single water source no more than about a week, and then try to transition to another water source for the next week. And the reason that we say that is you prevent high impact areas around those watering points. So if they're only working off of a single watering point 1 or 2 weeks at a time, and then you're transitioning them to another watering point, that watering point has plenty of time to recover from that impact. So you get full recovery, and we never get those permanently beat down areas that we often see in many pastures. The other thing that we prevent are those permanent cow paths. You'll notice that these cows in this paddock, and they're doing it right now, they're following a pretty similar path to get back and forth to that water. Now, if we were to keep that going week after week, month after month, we would have very clear cow paths created here. And then as winter rains set in, that would start to erode those cow paths, and cow paths would eventually turn into gullies. So obviously we want to prevent that. And the way to do that is, again, transitioning weekly or at least bi-weekly to a new water point every time that we make that week to every 2 week move to our fresh pastures.